Go.
Part 1. The Mistake. There once was a young girl like you named Mira, and she too ignored Aphrodite. She would not fall in love. There were suitors everywhere, but she was blind to them. One day, Aphrodite had had enough, and he seized her with a passion.
Oh, so?
It was a passion for her father.
That isn't true.
It is.
You could shut yourself in a room, bolt the door, but love will come through the window. Draw the curtains, lock the casement, but love will seep through the walls. Never think, never think that you could be safe from love.
She struggled hard against her passion.
Oh gods, I pray you, keep off this wickedness. Make me a daughter to my parents. Even to think what I am thinking is a crime. Or is it a crime? Who would condemn such love as crime? The animals I've seen will do as they desire. A ram goes to the ewe that he has hired, and birds will make a nest with those the nest once held. How happy they are to be so free. But we have laws. Yet there are countries I have heard with no such laws, where in the dark the bonds of love already strong might be made perfect. Why do I keep thinking of such things? Leave me alone. He is the best of men, the best of fathers. If I were not his daughter, I might lie with sinless. But I am his daughter. You've been virtuous in body, Mira, now be so in mind.
Mira?
Father?
What's wrong?
No, it's nothing.
Why are you crying? Why should a girl like you be sad? There are suitors at her door every day. You keep refusing them and hiding in the corners of the house. If someone special you were hiding?
No,
What are you waiting for?
nothing.
None of them pleases you?
No.
What sort of husband would you like?
One like you.
You always were such a good and sweet girl.
Midnight came and sleep crept in the palace to fold men in his arms. But Mira could not sleep. Tangled in a dream of her father, she tossed all night long, caught between her shame and her desire. Like a tree once wounded by the woodman's axe that leans first one way in the wind, then another, hesitates, but always falls.
Part 2. The Solutions.
Mira, my child, what are you doing?
Nurse, leave me alone.
What is it? I'll help you, though they're not altogether helpless. Why?
Has someone
Has someone bewitched you? Spells may be broken, or have you crossed some god? Still, you may look to appease, by sacrifices and prayers, even the heavens' anger. What else could it be? Your mother and father... I know. It is love. It must be love. But I can help you, whatever it is, whatever you want. I swear by the gods to help you.
Go away!
Why?
Go away or stop it. Okay, stop asking why I agree. It's a crime. The thing you're trying to learn, a crime.
This went on and on, but the old nurse would not give up.
Oh, mother, happy in your husband.
What does your mother have to do with... Oh, child. Whisper into my ear and tell me I am wrong. I swore to help you, and now I must. Your mother leaves tomorrow for the Feast of Ceres. She will be gone 9 days. Your father will drink. He will be likely, as any man can be, to listen to my suggestion. That a young girl adores you, loves you, and wants to visit your bedroom, can't she?
She's attractive?
Yes, and young.
How young?
Your daughter's age.
All right then.
There's only one condition. She's very shy and is afraid for you to see her.
How charming.
Part 3. The Corridor.
In the small hours of the night, when all was still in the palace, when the moon had flooded from the sky and the stars were concealing themselves in a shroud of cloud, she set out for her father's apartment. She stumbled, recognizing this as an omen, but nevertheless continued down the hallway. When she continued down the corridor, clutching her nurse's arm for support. The hall's apparently endless, but then, too soon, they arrived at the door.
Your girl is here?
Part 4. Unnameable.
Full of her father, the girl slips out of the room, guilty but shameless.
There's nothing to fear or to hope for now.
The next night, she returns.
This price is no worse than one.
And the third night, she's back again.
Let me see you.
No,
I want to see you.
no,
Let me see you.
no!
She escaped into darkness, out of the room, the house, the city, into remote exotic islands, even as far as the arid wilderness.
Oh gods, I pray you change me. Transform me into something else. Transform me entirely. Let me step out of my own heart.
Someone must have heard her, for she did change.
Some say she changed into a tree.
Some say she gave birth to a boy called Adonis.
Others contend that she dissolved into tears.
And this last was not a mere expression, some rhetorical turn or hyperbolic trope, but simply the unadorned, terrible truth. She stepped into a shimmering stream and again dissolved. Her body melted.
And then she was gone.
This story got Vertumnus nowhere. Why are you wearing that ridiculous wig?
Oh.
Take it off. And take off that idiotic dress.
I'm embarrassed.
Take it off. When at last the dog revealed himself just as he was, much to his surprise, he had no need for words. Little Pomona was happy with what she saw, unadorned and undisguised. Soon enough, the vine was clinging to the tree. Go on.
Well, my parents were separated when I was really little. Before I was even born, it was sort of a one-night sort of thing. Except it was in a day, in a meadow, where my mother went to watch my father pass by every day. Anyway, I always knew who he was. And I would see him pass by every day, of course. Who doesn't? He wasn't really around. Not around.
Where better might we find a more precise illustration of the dangers of premature initiation than in this ancient tale of alternating parental indulgence and neglect?
I went to an expensive school, and there were a lot of boys there, were sons of the rich and famous. And one day, we're all in this playground, and this one kid, Thomas, he goes to me, so, Peyton, blah, blah, who's your father, what does he do, blah, blah, blah. And I tell him he's the son, and he says, tell me another, and I tell him he's the son. He's famous Apollo, and he just basically trampled me, just basically beat the shit out of me, like I was lying.
Neither his own opinion of himself, nor the regard for him or lack of it in his peers, obviates the father's primitive role as initiating priest for the younger being. Now, it cannot be contested that the absence of this figure is, for the son, an almost irredeemable loss.
So I go home and I say, Mom, this happened, at school. And she gets all upset, crying and everything, because she still loves him, and it's an insult to her as well. And I'm like, well, if it's true, how come there's no proof of it? It's unfair to us to know that there's no proof. She gets more upset, and she says, hear me, my child, in all his glory, your father looks down upon us. By his splendor, I swear that you are a truly begotten son. That fiery orb you see cross in the sky each day, whose heat enlivens and enables the sun and orders our days and nights, is indeed your sire. Believe me, my darling, blah, blah, blah.
When he matures beyond the customary Eden of the mother breast, the child seeks to individuate beyond its enfolding date and turns to the new symbols of the paternal realm, thus beginning his spiritual passage from one sphere to the next.
So she tells me to go to the valley where my dad goes to work every morning, just to ask him to set things straight, do right by me. So I set out, and it's hot, and it's dusty, and it's a long way across Ethiopia. And I hitch part of the time, and part of the time I walk. And finally, I get there, and the hill is steep.
But this passage is never easy.
At the door of my dad's secretaries, the days, and the hours, and the century. And they recognize me and say, go on in. And there he is, all shining and bright. I can't even look at him, he's so bright. You know what he says to me? He says, my son, you are welcome.
My son, you are welcome.
Speak, Phaeton, to your father.
Speak, Phaeton, to your father.
I cannot even tell you what this was to me, so I tell him everything. I just feel my guts. He listens to me and he says, let me grant you a favor.
Restore. What?
Let me grant you
Oh,
a
let me
favor.
grant you a favor.
Whatever you ask shall be yours.
Whatever you ask shall be yours.
And he swears to it.
No,
The conventional exordium of the initiate from the late to realize potential is inevitably accompanied by a radical realignment of his emotional relationship with the imago of parental authority.
That was only one thing I want. I mean, it's obvious, right? I say, give me the keys to your car, and immediately he starts backpedaling, saying it's his job.
It's my job.
And no one else can do it.
You can't do it.
That up in the sky are the bull, and the lion, and the scorpion.
There's a scorpion.
To give me, and I say, give me the keys to your car. I want to drive it myself across the sky. It's my turn, you promised. I want to light the world today.
The father, or his substitute, must be assured before he transfers the symbols of adult vocation that the son no longer is operating from infantile complexes. Complexes that might dangerously redirect his new task through the unconscious prompting of self-aggrandizement, personal preference, or even resentment.
Where have you been all my life, Dad? It's my turn. Hand it over. So he hands over the reins, but he won't stop giving me advice. Don't slide too high.
No, don't fly too high.
Nor too low. Stay in the tracks. Go slantwise.
Go slantwise.
Listen.
Go side.
Myths are the earliest.
It was over before it began. It was chaos, okay, out of control. As if no one was driving. My knees were weak, and I was blind from all the light. I set the earth on fire, and I fell, and it just destroyed me. It just completely and utterly destroyed. O-V-E-R. Over.
It has been said that the myth is a public dream. Dreams are private myths. Unfortunately, we give our mythic side scant attention these days. As a result, a great deal escapes us, and we no longer understand our own actions. So it remains important and solitary to speak not only of the rational and easily understood, but also of enigmatic things, the irrational and the ambiguous, to speak both privately
It's right here. What was going to have a thing is about a long piece of fabric across